I got so many questions from so many different men, and I figured this was a good opportunity to answer those questions. I'm going to keep the people who ask the questions anonymous. I'm going to keep them anonymous. But I think the questions are very important because there's a lot of men that have these questions or may have these questions, and perhaps you don't feel safe. You don't feel like you could ask these questions. Or maybe you asked the questions before and you were shut down, or you was told that you was weak, or you was told that you couldn't have emotions and you was treated like you was a machine versus being human. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. And the whole idea here is for you to know that here in my life, in my space, you're good. You're seen and you're heard. And that's that. This is for you guys because there's so many different resources for women. You know, there's so many resources for women to go when they're going through things. But for men, you know, a lot of men, they're told to man up. I did this search on like mental health for women, and it was like millions and millions of whatever, right? But then I did the same for mental health for men, and the numbers, it was like this. That's not cool. That's not cool. You should always have a space where you could go and you could talk about whatever's going on with you. So what we're going to do is I have 20 questions that we're going to go over in the live. I'm going to read you the question, and then I'm going to read you my responses to these questions. And if any of these responses, the way that I respond, if it resonates with you, if it's something where you're like, dang, I got some questions, you know, and you want to ask me some questions, that's basically what I do. I started a voice-led community so that you're not talked at, you're talked to. So you have an energy, you have a voice that's going to pour love and light into you. If you have something that's weighing on your mind, weighing on your heart, and you're like, man, this is how I feel. I'm stressed out about this, or I'm trying to figure this out, or just this thing is weighing on me and you need somebody to speak life into you, that's what I do. And basically, if you click the link in my bio, you'll find out more about it. But you click the link in my bio, you could submit your custom question. Give me about 3 business days because I'm going to sit in the energy and I'm going to give you like a heartfelt, energized answer. I'm not going to give you any fluff. I'm not going to be like, you'll be okay, everything's good. You know, I'm going to actually give you a real answer. And what this is going to do today is I'm going to give you an idea of how I respond to people, just so you kind of get an idea of who I am. First of all, my name is Destiny, just so you know. Men need to have a space where they feel seen and they are heard, period. Okay? So, question number 1. He said, why do I feel like I have to pay for love just to be chosen? How many of y'all feel like that? How many of y'all feel like that? That you got to pay for love in order for somebody to choose you. You got to pay somebody's bills. You got to pay somebody's something. You got to send somebody a Cash App. You got to send somebody a Zelle. You got to pay for somebody to look at you like, oh, you good. You're valuable. Okay, that's what this question is. I said, because somewhere along the way, love stopped feeling like something you are and started feeling like something you had to earn. And when you're taught that your value comes from what you provide, it's easy to think money is the only language love understands. But the right woman, she won't make you buy your seat at the table. She'll be grateful you showed up. Your presence, your heart, your integrity, those are worth more than anything money could ever buy. You're not an ATM, you're a man, and the right woman will never confuse the two. You are worthy of love that doesn't require payment, only presence. Ask yourself, if I had no money, who would still love me? Then build around that. The right woman, like, she's not looking for what's in your wallet. She want to know what's in here. Like, what sense does that make if you have the money but you mistreat you mistreat her? It don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. You feel me? The way that we view love and and how we value people is all twisted and messed up. People expect men, first of all, men have to carry their own stuff, right? And then it's like, then if the man is supposed to be the protector, then he's got to carry her and her stuff. And then if there's kids involved, then he got to carry the kids and their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but you forget, like, if a woman's carrying her stuff and it's hard for her, and the kids are carrying their stuff and it's hard for them, how you think the man feels? How do you know what I'm saying? And we got to think about that. Like, it's like we're pretending that he not human. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because he's a man, like he's not human anymore. Like, he has emotions, he has weight too. And I just don't see a lot of people taking a moment to think about that. You feel me? So I wanted to create a space where I think about it. The second question, he says, how do I know if she really loves me or just what I can give her? So it's kind of similar to the first question. I said, look at what she praises. If her eyes light up when you talk about your heart more than your hustle, you're seen. If she holds space when you're vulnerable, not just when you're victorious, you're loved. Real love doesn't just applaud your giving. It tends to your becoming. Ask yourself this. If everything you gave disappeared, would she still show up the same? Love that's earned through provision will disappear the moment provision runs out. But love that's rooted in who you are, not what you do, that's the kind that stays. Being valued for who you are is not too much to ask. It's the bare minimum. The bare minimum. Pay attention to what she clings to most. Your presence or your pockets. That's real. That's how you figure it out. That's how you figure out, like, who's really for you. Like, is somebody around because they're looking at you like a bank account? Are they really around because they like are down for you for real? They love you for real? Like, they're invested into your heart, who you are as a person, as an individual? Or is it that they're counting your pockets? You know what I'm saying? Is it your presence or your pockets? Your presence or your pockets? You want to find out? Take one away. Act like you ain't got nothing. I lost my job. You know what I'm saying? Act like you don't have anything and just see. How does the energy shift? Is she one of those that's like, okay, babe, all right, we're going to figure it out. We're going to budget. Don't worry. I got this. I got that. That sometimes that's how you see. That's how you really see, like, okay. Presents or pockets. Okay? He said, why does it feel like I'm only valued when I'm needed financially? You see what's happening here? This is an issue. This is an issue. There's so many men that feel like, man, this is all women care about. And it's, I don't believe that it's all women care about. I just believe that you're running into it a lot, and it's disheartening. You know what I'm saying? It's discouraging. It's discouraging when you're talking to somebody and you don't know if they're after you for who you are, or they like you for who you are, or they after you for presents or pockets. That's gonna be like the new tagline. Like, it's hard. It's difficult. That sucks. That's just like, imagine how a woman. I can imagine how a woman feels when a man only wants one thing from her. So do you think it should be different that if a woman only wants one thing from him? It's the same. We're human. Nobody wants to be used. Men don't want to be used. You feel me? Nobody wants to be used for, like, you just want me for my pockets. And then you just want me for this. Well, it goes both ways, right? Reciprocity. So he said, why does it feel like I'm only valued when I'm needed financially? I said, because somewhere along the way, your giving became your identity. You were taught to lead with provision instead of presence. But financial support is only one form of love. It shouldn't be the only one that gets you seen. When people only applaud what you give and never affirm who you are, they condition you to believe you're only lovable when you're useful. But your value isn't tied to your wallet. It's in your wisdom, your spirit, your peace, your being. Stop letting people withdraw from you who never pour back into you. Stop letting people withdraw from you who never pour back into you. You deserve to be appreciated without a transaction attached. Ask, if I stop giving, would the connection still exist? And if you notice, even though these questions, they're basically the same. You notice that, right? Like basically these questions, I mean, the guys, they ask them in their own way. But I don't just be like, let me copy and paste and give the same response. Like, I really take a moment to think about the response, and they're all different responses. So I just want you to know that too. When I am processing a question, I'm thinking about it. And it's, not only for men, just people in general. Like, I really want to take a moment and think about my answer before I give it. I don't want to just be like, okay, blah, 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 and just rinse and repeat and just say the same thing. No, because I want you to feel my energy. I want you to feel the answer in a way where you're like, dang, I didn't think about that like that. You feel me? That's why I come in. That's the whole point. You have to have spaces where you could be like, dang. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you go in a room, if you're not learning anything, if you come in here and you're not learning anything new from me, you're not in the right room. But if you come in here and you're like, dang, I get where she coming from. That's something new. I haven't heard anyone explain it like that. No one has spoken to me like that. That's the whole point. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Next question. What if I don't want to lead with money? Does that make me less of a man? Do you see this trend here? Like, it's a lot. So many men are feeling used. You're not a bank. And don't allow anybody to treat you that way. You're not a bank. You're a person. I said no. It makes you more of a man because it means you're choosing to lead with character, not currency. A man who understands his worth knows that money can't buy respect, loyalty, or love. It can buy comfort, sure, but not connection. Don't let society trap you in the lie that manhood equals money. Provision is powerful, but presence, protection, and purpose, that's what makes a man unforgettable. Lead with your values, your clarity, your voice. The right one will follow, not because of your wallet, but because of your wisdom. You were never created to be a bank. You are created to be a builder. Challenge yourself to lead a conversation, not with your plans, but with your principles. This is what Seen is all about. This is why I created Seen. My mission is to make sure that you know that if you come here and you see me and you anything that has to do with Seen, I see you. I see you. You know what I mean? I can't speak for a man because I'm not a man, but I could speak to him. I could speak life into you. You feel me? I could definitely do that. And that's why I built this. This isn't something that for a little bit, like, it was very difficult when I was trying to come up with the concept, because it's like, it's not a podcast. I'm like, it's not a podcast, it's not this. It's like, I just want to speak love and light over men, over people in general. I'm just specifically speaking to men right now because in my heart, like, I feel like that's what's needed. I just feel like it's lacking. It's lacking. I don't like it. So if you don't like something, there's no need to complain about it. What do? You change it, right? You work in solutions. So that's what we're doing here. He said, is it wrong to want emotional support from a woman without being called soft? How many of y'all dealt with that? You want emotional support from a woman, but if you want emotional support, it's like, oh man, you gotta man up. Yeah, you're a little soft, man. You being a little wuss, right? You're human. This is my answer. I said, not at all. Wanting emotional support doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And a woman who truly honors you won't mock your vulnerability. She'll guard it. You weren't made to carry everything alone. And the right woman won't treat your emotions like a burden. She'll treat them like a blueprint to better love you. You are not soft for needing support. You are safe to be whole. And any woman who demands your strength without ever offering softness is not a safe space you need. That's not the space for you. Straight up. It's not the space for you. Your emotional needs are not an inconvenience, they are sacred. Practice saying, I don't need fixing. I just need someone to listen. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. People want to be heard. I don't want to just talk just to like fill up the space. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to be understood. I don't like to talk just to fill up space. Like, I'm not a small talker. I'm really not. I prefer to just, if I have something to say, I'll say it. But I don't like to talk just to fill up space. You know what I'm saying? So if I do speak, I want to be understood. I want you to listen to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm going to listen to you. And every man, every woman, every person, every human should have that. Especially if you have a situation where you have this is my wife, like this is my girlfriend, and this is my, you know what I'm saying? It's your partner. It's my friend. They should be listening to understand you. That's how you move forward. Like, for example, my king, he might be passionate about something. And people be like, oh, I mean, he's raising his, his voice is loud. He's a man. His voice might, he might be passionate about something. I'm sitting there listening to what's being said. I know who's saying it to me. I know the person that's saying something to me is not, I'm not gonna be around someone that is intending to hurt me. I'm not gonna have anyone around me that I think is gonna hurt me. You feel me? So that's number one. So first of all, if it's my king speaking to me, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm nodding my head. I'm listening. I'm silent. I'm listening. You feel me? Like, how can I respond to you if I don't really know what the issue is? How we going to work? You know what I'm saying? How can we work at solutions if I didn't take the time to understand where you're coming from? And I hear that from a lot of men. I don't feel seen. I don't feel like it matters what I say. It matters as long as I understand her. Like, it's all good. But ain't nobody trying to understand me. I just got to keep going. That's not cool. That's not fair. That's not cool. No, absolutely not. Okay. So, next question. He said, why do I feel like I have to keep proving my worth to be respected in a relationship? Okay. I said, because someone, somewhere, taught you that love must be earned through performance. That if you weren't doing enough, you weren't enough. But the truth is, love built on constant proving will always feel like a test you're one mistake away from failing. Real respect doesn't require repetition. You shouldn't have to keep reminding someone of your value just to be seen. The right one will recognize you the first time and honor you without you having to exhaust yourself to be noticed. Your worth is not a performance, it's a presence. Instead of proving, pause. See who still respects you when you're not producing. That part right there. See who still respects you when you're not producing. It's not supposed to be like I'm constantly having to prove myself. You don't have to prove yourself to nobody but you, but yourself, but who you were yesterday. You don't have to do all that. He said, how do I set boundaries with a woman without being labeled controlling? Okay, I said, by making it clear that boundaries are not restrictions, they're revelations. They reveal what you need in order to feel safe, respected, and emotionally present. A controlling man dictates her choices. A self-aware man simply declares his own limits. You are not wrong for having standards. You are not wrong for protecting your peace. And if your boundaries are labeled as control by someone who benefits from your lack of them, that's not partnership. That's manipulation in disguise, in case you didn't know that. Boundaries are not about control. They're about clarity. Speak your boundary with love. Example, I'm not asking you to change. I'm just letting you know what I can't accept. Did you get that? You catch that? I'm not asking you to change. I'm letting you know what I can't accept. So if what you're doing, if I'm telling you, oh, I can't accept what you're doing, you could continue to do that, but you do that over there. You go over there with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take that over there. You take that over there. And that is nothing wrong about that. And who's being controlled? Who's being controlled? Because the other person can easily be like, oh, well, I'm not going to change you. Okay, well, don't. Bye. That's your boundary. This is what I will not accept. I think the situation is people don't set boundaries in the beginning. I think it's better if you set them in the beginning. Like, or if something happens, nip it in the bud right away. Because sometimes you may not think of something until it happens and you be like, oh, I know, oh, no. I can't accept this. You know what I'm saying? So for example, I'll give you an example. You know how like maybe a man, is like, okay, for my girl, right? My girl, she not gonna be walking out with her, her cheeks out. That might be one of your boundaries, right? You might be like, oh no, and maybe that's one of your boundaries because you're like, as a man, I know how other men look at other women, and I don't need all that. I don't want all that. I want her to now that's for me. That's for me to see. That may be how he feels. So he could just say, listen, you can wear whatever you want to wear. If that's what you want to wear, cool. But if I'm in a relationship with someone, I can't accept it. So we just not together. And that's it. That's very clear. You feel me? It's very, very, very clear. And if the other person is like, oh, he trying to tell me he's not trying to tell you. I mean, there are some people that you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to do none of that. You could just be like, look, this is what I cannot accept. If this is a situation where you want to be in, where you want to be in a relationship with me, these are the things that I can't accept. I'm not asking you to change who you continue to be you. If that's you, I'm just saying, for the person I'm choosing to be my wife, my partner, or whatever, this is what I cannot accept. That's it. You make I'm not going to control you. You make the choice. You feel me? That's how you can approach that situation. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in a situation like that where the other person is feeling like you're being controlling, you're telling them you don't have to even do none of that. You could just, this is what I can't accept. That's very clear. You feel me? It's nothing controlling about that. It's a boundary. And somebody could either like fall in line or not. You coming or not? You can go with me or not. It's very simple. It's very clear. Okay? Next question. Okay, he said, why do I shut down emotionally even when I want to open up? Okay. I said, because your heart remembers what happened the last time you tried. Maybe you were silenced, shamed, or misunderstood. So now, silence feels safer than sharing. But your silence is not your healing. It's your armor. And while it might protect you from pain, it also blocks connection. The fact that you want to open up means your heart hasn't given up. It just needs to know it's safe. Start with small truths. Test the room. You don't have to rip yourself wide open. Just crack the door. Shutting down is self-preservation, but healing begins when you speak anyway. Choose one emotion you've been avoiding. Name it, then say it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. Sometimes it could start with just talking to yourself in the mirror. Like, for real. Just talking to yourself, talk in the mirror. It could start with that. That's usually where that comes from, though. You opened up, somebody didn't like handle it properly, handle you properly. And your nervous system is like, oh, no. We ain't doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the human, your nervous system is like, nah, I'm good. But again, it blocks you from really connecting with somebody. A person that's meant to be around you, it could be a friend, it could be a girl, it could be a person who's meant to be around you, who you have around you, and they really like love you and value you for real. They won't make you feel like that. They'll make you feel safe. I remember my king, like, in the beginning, like, he didn't know he could, he didn't know he could feel safe, because you ever been in a situation and somebody be like, oh, just tell me, I won't get mad. You know that? Just tell me, I won't get mad. You can tell me. And then the person get mad, then they bring it up. They keep bringing it up. And then, so the other person shuts down. The other person don't want to talk about nothing no more. But he learned through consistency, through time, like, okay, I'm safe here. You feel me? So even when I speak about my king, like a lot of what I witnessed, just over time, it's like, man, men really don't, that's really sad to me. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of men feel that way, that they just don't feel safe. That there's a lot of men, it's like, I look at how society handles certain situations and I'm just like, it's handled this way because this person is a man. And then it's flexible or handled this way because this person is a woman. But we all human. We all human. When you lead with love, when you come from a place of love and light, it's going to land how it's supposed to land. If you come from a place of like anger, you mad, you just blah, and you go off, if you come from that space and you don't come for peace, you don't keep love, you don't keep peace, you don't keep light at the forefront, it doesn't translate as you want it to. You don't get the same outcome. But I believe if you lead with love, even when you're upset about something, it will land properly. Even if the other person is like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you like, hey, I gotta say something, and you could leave with a disclaimer. I need to say something, and it is not my intention to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable saying it, but I have to say it because I gotta look out for me and how I feel. I gotta get it off my chest. And all I ask for you is just to listen to me, and then we could talk about it. Like, very clear. You feel me? Very clear. Talk about it. Like, very clear. You feel me? Very clear. If your connection is rooted, like if you have a strong foundation, I could feel him even when I'm not with him, if that makes sense. My instincts, like I could feel him. I'm in tune with him. There's a foundation there. And so distance, as far as like the distance, like we're still connected regardless of where we are in the world. Does that make sense? I think when your relationship is not, it's beyond like the physical. It's beyond the physical. It's more mental, and you could be mentally stimulated by your partner. It's a different level. So it's like the physical. It's like, yeah, you miss the physical touch. You feel me? Like, giving them hugs and but the mental, when your mind is stimulated, like for example, like I said this before, I don't do small talk. So if I'm away from my king, like I when I contact you, if I leave you a message, it's a message of substance. I don't do what you doing. I don't do those. I don't send those messages. I don't send messages like, what are you doing? I send messages like, hey, did you see the stock market? The FOMC meeting is going to be Wednesday, so we got to be, I send something that's going to, it stimulates you somehow. It's either about an investment or whatever it is that we're into. It's stimulation. So the distance, it doesn't feel like we're apart. Even though we're apart, we may be apart, it doesn't feel that way because we're constantly stimulating one another in, the mind. He said, what if I'm scared to try again? Because the last time I gave my all, I was destroyed. How many of y'all been through that? You're welcome, Ryan. How many of y'all been through that? You scared to try again. You scared to love. You scared to give your heart because the last time you gave your heart, nah. So you like, oh no. So this was my answer. I said, that fear makes sense. When love goes wrong, it doesn't just break your heart. It breaks your trust in yourself. But giving your all isn't what destroyed you. It was giving your all to someone who didn't know what to do with it. I'm going to repeat that. Giving your all isn't what destroyed you. It was giving your all to someone who didn't know what to do with it. Love isn't the enemy. Misalignment is. Love isn't the enemy. Misalignment is. And healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about learning how to recognize who's worthy of what you're ready to give. You don't have to rush back into love, but don't let what hurt you convince you you're unlovable. You weren't wrong for loving deeply. They were just wrong for mishandling it. Instead of asking, what if I get hurt again? Ask, what if I finally get it right? What if you finally get it right? That's the difference there. It's not like love is the enemy. I can't love nobody. I can't give myself anyway. You just have to be very mindful. You have to vet properly. You know what I'm saying? You just have to, again, what I told you before, like you have to look at people, how they treat you. Like, how do they, like, if you say no, how do they respect your no? Do they respect your no? Or do they, like, they want a pity party because you said no, because things didn't go their way? Like, you have to pay attention to all of that. Because of, a person, you're valid. Like, you don't have to say yes to everything. You're not a yes man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell somebody yes all the time to appease them. You know what I'm saying? Make things, I'm going to inconvenience me to make it convenient for you? No. You got to respect my no. And don't treat me differently because I said no. You feel me? So, and it goes both ways. Like, women want men to respect their no. If they say no, no mean no, right? So if you say no, no mean no. It's the same day. Like, it don't matter. If you're a man, you're a woman, like, your no is your no, but you have to pay attention to how people treat you when you say no. If somebody's acting different towards you because you say you can't do something or you choose not to do something because that's a choice, because you're entitled to make a choice, you have to pay attention to that. That's a red flag when somebody treats you differently. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could be like, dang, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to treat you differently because you said no, because you can't do something for them, it's a red flag. Red flag. Okay, so next question. He said, do I even believe in love anymore? Or have I just given up? I said, you haven't given up. You've just been let down too many times. If what you were given didn't look like love, then your disbelief isn't about giving up. It's about your spirit rejecting anything that isn't real. It's okay to rest. It's okay to stop searching. But deep down, you still believe. Because the questions you're asking, they prove your heart hasn't stopped hoping. Love hasn't abandoned you. You're just waiting for it to finally look like truth. Write down what love must include for you to believe again. Use that list to guard your heart going forward. You know, sometimes you just got to write things down. Like, I know a lot of people be like, man, I don't write anything down. I don't need to write. Writing is good for you. It's good for you to kind of just write. When when you speak words when you speak, right, your words, like, you manifest things into existence. When you write, you write things. It's like you affirm what you want and you put it into existence when you write it. And then it's like you speak it, you write it, you see it. It's like all your senses are like, okay, boom. And then your brain is training itself to be like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. So then you become experienced. It's like a muscle. You become experienced and you be like, oh no, I don't want that. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not, you can start weeding things out when you do that. So I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to write things down, or I'm just saying, try it. If you haven't tried it, try it. Try to write down like what is that you're looking for? What is it that you expect? What does love look like for you? What does happiness look like for you? What does joy look like for you? What does peace look like for you? Like, you could try to write those things down and then see how you approach it. See how you recognize things moving forward. Just a suggestion. So another question. He said, why does it feel like no one checks on me unless they need something? How many of y'all went through that? How many of you felt like that? I felt like that before. That's not a good feeling. That's not a good feeling. You go, like, for example, what Father's Day just passed, right? And a lot of people, oh man, a lot of people send me messages and it's like, man, nobody, some people, they didn't hear from their kids. They didn't hear from, like, nothing, unless it was like, hey, man, or you get the, hey, how you doing? Hey, can you follow by? It's like, you ever get that phone call or you see that text message, you ain't heard from this person and you don't know how long, and you already know they want something. You already know, you see the message, you like, oh man, ask me for something. You know it. And they start with, hey, how are you? I was thinking about how you doing. What you need? That sucks. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? This is my response. I said, because somewhere along the line, you became everyone's lifeline, but no one became yours. You're the one they run to when things fall apart, but when you're falling apart, silence shows up instead. That kind of isolation doesn't just hurt. It erodes your sense of belonging. But hear this. The fact that you're constantly leaned on speaks to your strength, not your disposability. You're not invisible. You're just surrounded by people who've forgotten you need care too. Start choosing rooms where reciprocity is the standard, not the exception. Reciprocity has to be the standard. It has to be the standard. But people treat it like it's an exception. Because people do. They treat reciprocity like, oh, that's the exception to the rule. No, the rule is reciprocity. I pour into you. You pour into me, we pour into each other. It goes back and forth. It's not just pour, 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 pour. So your cup is empty. Like, no, absolutely not. Absolutamente no. I said being strong doesn't mean being neglected. Reach out to someone, not because they need you, but because you need to be seen. So the next question, what if I'm trying my best and it still doesn't feel like enough? I know a lot of people had that feeling, right? You like, I'm doing my best. Like, you know what I'm saying? You like, I got this going on, I got this going on. Like, I'm doing my best. And then you have some people that be like, you need to do this, you need to do that, I'm doing my best. It felt like it's not enough. I said, then it's time to redefine what enough really means. Sometimes not enough isn't about effort. It's about unrealistic expectations or ungrateful environments. You were never meant to carry the weight of perfection. You're meant to grow, to learn, to show up, even when it's messy. If your best is being overlooked, it's not your effort that's the issue. It's the lens you're being seen through. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are evolving. And that counts for something. You don't owe perfection. You owe yourself peace. List what you did accomplish today, even if it's just breathing through a hard moment. That counts too. That counts too. I know when you leave your house, right? Whenever you leave your home, anything could happen. Anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? You go to work, like other people, you gotta maneuver through that. And if you're in traffic, other people, you gotta maneuver through that. Then you come home, depending on how your environment is, you gotta maneuver through that. And sometimes, like, you just gotta breathe. And just be grateful that you could breathe. And celebrate the fact, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna breathe so I don't go off. You might want to snap, but if you didn't snap and you just took a breath, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And you could celebrate that because that's you doing your best. Even still trying to be the best possible version of yourself. That's really all you can do in life. Be the best possible version of yourself. As long as you're doing that, everything else, like, it'll fall in alignment. That's all you're responsible for, is to be the best possible version of yourself. You're not responsible for other people, like how other people, their opinion of you, how they be the best possible version of yourself. And sometimes just breathing through a situation, hey, that's all I got. I don't have no words. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no words. I'm just going to breathe. And I'm going to take a moment for me. And that's okay. And that's okay. Remember what I said earlier. People have to respect your no. No, I don't feel like talking right now. No, I can't comfort you right now. No, I don't want to hear about what you got going on right now. I want to hear my thoughts in my head. I'm trying to sort through my stuff. I want to talk to me right now. I want to take care of me right now. No, I can't do that for you. That's your no. And you're valid for having a no. You feel me? Don't let nobody make you think that you can't have that. They got to respect your no. They have to respect your no. Some people, they don't even ask. They don't even think about how your day went. They just go in about their day. I did this and and this happened. And you be like, yeah. But dang, are they going to ask about your day though? Like, how was your day? How was your day today? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, it's the little things. We're human. So just somebody like genuinely wanting to know like how the day was, like that right there, like even your friends. You know what I'm saying? You ever have like a friend who always got something like, dude, ask me how I'm doing for a change. You know what I'm saying? You ever have friends like that? Like, it's more of a, I think a lot of people are just selfish and they only think about themselves. You feel me? And it's like, sometimes you gotta let people know, hey, I'm fine. Sometimes people will go right into what they need and what they want. Like, oh, I'm doing fine. How you doing? You good? I had a wonderful day. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. This one made me so sad, y'all. This one made me so sad because it's a lot of people that have this question. It's a lot of people that sit at home in silence. Like, he said, would anyone even notice if I disappeared tomorrow? Like that. I said, yes, more than you know. Pain has a way of convincing you that your absence wouldn't matter, but that's the lie that silence tells you. The truth is, your presence has shaped people in quiet ways. Someone smiles because of your past kindness. Someone dreams because you believed in them. Someone feels safe because you exist. You are not disposable. You are deeply necessary. Even if they haven't said it lately, you are felt. You are missed when you're quiet. And you are loved, even if the world forgot to remind you today. You don't have to be loud to be needed. Your existence matters just as it is. Send one message to someone today, not for validation, but for connection. Let your presence echo. There's a lot of people, again, that sit in silence because it's just too quiet. You know what I'm saying? It feels too quiet. And sometimes it's the way you look at silence, right? Sometimes it's the way you look at silence. Some people look at silence like it's a bad thing, right? Like it's too quiet, like, you know, nobody checked on me, nobody this. And I've been through that too, right? I've been like, dang, nobody check on me. But you know, in those silent moments, it's where I get to listen to my thoughts. Solidarity is very much important because it's where your mind is, where you could hear your own thoughts without somebody like in your ear trying to tell you this or that. And silence can be a gateway to something else. You know what I'm saying? A silence could be a way to take that moment to be like, what is it that I want? And what actions can I take to actively pursue that want or that need? What is it that I need right now? Is it that I need a new environment? Is it that, you know, what is it? Get to the source of it. You know, really sit down and think about that. And a lot of times you find those answers in silence. You find those answers in silence. Like, I know there's a lot of people that they always gotta be. You ever seen somebody? They always gotta be around somebody. Like, you ever spend any time by yourself? Like, it's like that. You have to be able to enjoy the time by yourself and find different ways to think about silence. I know a lot of people that they think about silence in a negative way, and it feels like, man, there's nobody checking on me. And sometimes you just have to make better choices about who you decide to call, you know, position. Who you've positioned in your life. Sometimes they didn't earn those titles. Sometimes you got people in your life, they went to orientation, but they ain't really show up for the job. You know what I'm saying? But they want a paycheck. They want to get paid every Friday, but they only came to orientation. They didn't really show up to work. So you have to reposition people. You feel me? So it's more about them than it is about you. You feel me? Because again, a lot of people, you surround yourself with people who manipulate you, use you, think about you like a bank, don't value you. And those people, they're not gonna show up for you. It is gonna be quiet until they need something. You don't need those people around you anyway. You need people around you that are like, man, you know what I'm saying? You are really funny. You know, they your sense of humor, your character, the fact that you're an honest person. You feel me? Like your qualities as a person, as a human being, they respect those qualities. Maybe you have advice that you give to somebody and somebody really appreciates that. And maybe somebody took that advice and it's like they're following their path and they're thinking about you, but they're focused on them. They're thinking about you in their mind, but that doesn't mean like they won't miss you when you're gone. You feel me? So you can disappear, but you can remove yourself from the people that make you feel that way. You could do that. Sometimes it's just repositioning. You gotta remove titles. Everybody ain't your brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be your girl. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be your wife. Everybody can't be, that's my, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have these extended family members that ain't really, they people have these titles, but it's like, did they earn these titles? You gotta think about that sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to sit back and reevaluate the people, the positioning, the titles you've given people. It's okay. It's okay. Take a moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, just like when you have a job, your boss be like, hey man, your performance is down. It's going down. I'm going to need you ain't performing. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your performance up. You got to meet the qualifications of the position. You feel me? It's okay to take a moment to assess, are people like earning these titles that you've given them? You feel me? Next question. He said, how do I carry all this pressure when I can't show weakness? How do I carry all this pressure when I can't show weakness? Because I know a lot of men been taught not to show weakness, right? You got to man up, right? You ain't supposed to feel, you got to man up, right? I said, you weren't meant to carry it all alone. And the idea that weakness disqualifies manhood is a lie. It's a lie designed to break you from the inside out. Pressure without pause leads to burnout. And silence in the name of strength leads to self-erasure. You don't need to broadcast your pain, but you do need a space to release it. Even still has a melting point. And being strong doesn't mean never needing rest. It means knowing when to honor your limits. True strength is knowing when to release what's crushing you. Choose one safe space, a journal, a voice memo, a trusted friend, and name what you're carrying out loud. And that brings me back to why I created Scene. It's a voice-led community for you, so you could feel safe. So you could tell me, man, I got a question, or this is weighing on my heart, and I can speak to it in the form of a voice memo. You could play it whenever you want to play it, whenever you need to hear it, again and again and again. You feel me? Because I was like, that's not even a thing I don't think that's a thing. It's not. I checked. It's not. It's not. So I created it. You said sometimes we put them on a pedestal and they don't deserve it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They only came to orientation. You can't get a paycheck if you just showed up to... Can you do that? I don't think so. You can't go to orientation and then don't pay it, and that's all. You just showed up to orientation. You didn't come to work, and you think you can come on Friday and pick up your check? No. No. So why do we think that we could continue to position people in our lives that only showed up for orientation? They're not doing the work for those titles. They didn't come to work. They can't pick up no check. Ain't no check for you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't right. They want your attention, but they don't want to. No, right. No. No, absolutely not. Okay, so he said, why does the world expect me to be strong, but offer no space for my struggles? I said, because the world benefits from your silence. Your struggle gets hidden behind strength, and your needs get ignored because you wear composure too well. But just because you can carry it doesn't mean you should. The world needs to do better. But until it does, you get to create space for your own healing. You deserve a space where your strength isn't measured by silence, but by your willingness to feel. Let this be your reminder. You are not weak for needing help. You are human. You are allowed to be both capable and cared for. Start saying this to yourself. My needs matter, even if the world isn't asking. Your needs matter, even if the world isn't asking. It's true. It's true. Yeah, some of the strongest people we know are broken on the inside. For real. Like, for real. For real. On the surface, and a lot of people, they look at it. That's the thing. I think a lot of people, they look at the man to be strong, right? Not thinking about he might be going through stuff. So they don't think to like, oh, I don't need to check on him. He's strong. He always good. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's human. Just like you. I don't know anybody that's good all the time. That don't have not one bad day. Nah. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But we're all human. We've experienced some type of pain, some type of burden, some type of weight. Because that's just how life is. Life throws you weight. Life will make you carry that weight, and you got to carry it. You know what I'm saying? But you're not supposed to be carrying it by yourself. You're not supposed to carry it alone. You think just because you're a man, you're supposed to carry everything. You got to handle everything. You got to be everything. No. That's not how it's supposed to be, for sure. And it's sad that society makes you believe that that's what it is, because that's not what it is. No human being is designed to carry everything alone. No. Absolutely not. Next question. He said, what's the point of providing if no one appreciates the cost of my sacrifice? That. What's the point of providing if no one appreciates the cost of my sacrifice? You know how like people who, how can I say this? People who try to manipulate you or use you for money, it's like people don't understand like how hard you worked. They don't care. They don't care how hard you worked for something, or what you had to sacrifice in order to get where you are in life, in order to acquire where you are in life. They don't know if you had to live in your car. They don't know if you had to live on the street. They don't know they don't know anything. They don't know if you had to clean toilets, you had to mop floors, they don't know what you had to do to get in a position that you're in. So for someone else to feel like they could count your pockets or that they're entitled to, what you have, and then don't appreciate the sacrifices that you made to be in the position that you're in, like, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's the issue. That's the issue. Like, that's the issue. So my answer, I said provision without appreciation feels like betrayal, especially when no one sees the nights you stayed up late, the weight you carried in silence, or the dreams you buried just to make sure others could rise. But you weren't put here just to be useful. You were made to be valued. Your sacrifices matter, even if they're not applauded. And one day, the people who benefit from your presence will either rise to honor it or lose access to it. Keep showing up, but only for those who show they see you too. Stop showing up for people who don't see you for real. Stop showing up for people who don't see you for real. They don't see you, like, ain't no need to be doing all of that. You are not a machine. You are not a bank. You are a person. You are a human. Your value is not determined by the dollars in your account. Your value is not determined by your pockets. It's your presence. I said that earlier. People should value your presence, not your pockets. It shouldn't always be about the money, because if you don't have it, if you're like, I don't have this to give to you, and they stop talking to you, then they didn't appreciate you anyway. You feel me? It's not cool for me to look at anybody, man, woman. Like, it's not cool for me to just look at somebody based on what they could do for me. I care about who you are as a person. Because somebody could do something for you and then do something bad to you just the same. So what really matters? You feel me? Like, your character, who you are as a person, that's the real money right there. That's the real money right there. And then it's okay to, like, take care of people, but it's not okay to be used. It's not okay to be used. Again, pay attention to how people treat you when you say no. When you be like, nah, I can't do it today. Watch how they respond. The same way that I pour into women, all I'm doing is giving that energy to men as well. I want you to feel like it's safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, women, I have an audience full of women, and I also have an audience full of men. And I just want you to know you're safe. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna speak life into you. If you're going through something and you make a statement about something, and I'm like, nah, that's coming from pain. That's not true. That's coming from pain. You're in pain. It's okay to be in pain, but let's call it what it is. You know, if somebody if somebody makes a choice and then they blame somebody else, I'll be like, you got to take accountability for the choice. You know what I'm saying? All choices have outcomes. Just how we can't control what other people do, but we could control, it's our choices. You know what I'm saying? We have to take a moment and be like, dang, I could have made a different choice. And then do the healing from within and be like, okay, I got to make better choices. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go blaming everybody for the choices I make. That goes for men and women. I just happen to notice that there are so many men that don't feel safe. They don't feel like they have a place to just vent for a moment, to just speak freely how they feel. And someone take a moment to just be like, okay, I hear you. So I wanted to create that. So you could just ask your question, and I got you. I'm not gonna regurgitate the same answer I gave this person, that person, because the energy here is different. When somebody asks me something, like, I'm feeling the energy behind it. There's a lot of these questions. It's just like it hits my heart, because it's like, oh man, Because a lot of people do. They feel broken. And meanwhile, while they're asking me these questions, probably just carrying on about the days, performing, faking the funk, smiling, pretending everything is all good. But meanwhile, they hurt in the inside. And they feel like they don't have a space to release that. So that's why I wanted to create a space for you. That's why. Okay. Next question. There are 4 more. Okay. So he said, how do I cope with feeling invisible in a world that only praises what I produce? You see this? You see this pattern here? There's so many men that just feel like that's all people care about. That's sad, y'all. That's sad. That's not cool. Nobody should feel like that. Nobody should feel like that. And I see a lot of it in men. I said, you remember that your being is not defined by your output. The world is noisy with performance, but your worth is rooted in presence. You are not a machine. You are a man with thoughts, feelings, and an identity far deeper than productivity. When you feel invisible, return to the spaces where you're loved for who you are, not what you create. Your value isn't in your resume. It's in your energy, your impact, your essence. You being here is the proof. You're not invisible. You're just in the wrong rooms. Did you catch that? You're not invisible. You're just in the wrong rooms. If you're in these rooms and you feel like nobody sees you, go to another room. Go to another room. You're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. Why do I feel like I'm constantly performing just to be accepted? I said because somewhere you were taught that being yourself wasn't safe, that only the together version of you deserved love. So now you perform to avoid rejection. You filter your truth to avoid judgment, but that's not acceptance, that's exhaustion. You were not made to play a role. You were made to be real. The people meant for you will never require you to shrink. Stop auditioning for spaces that wouldn't know how to hold the fullness of who you are. Acceptance built on performance will never lead to peace. Acceptance built on performance will never lead to peace. Acceptance built on performance will never lead to peace. Never. Practice this truth. If I have to perform to be loved, it's not love. If you got to perform to be loved, that's not love. That's not how that works. If you gotta perform, if you feel like every day you putting on a performance just to be liked, to be loved, to be cared, no, that's not real. Stop that. Stop that. You don't have to perform for nobody. Just be who you are, and let your vibe find you. Let your tribe find your vibe. You do not have to perform for no one. You feel me? Like, you don't have to. You gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop doing that. You deserve to be able to just be yourself. Like, be yourself. If you're a goofball, be a goofball. You a weirdo, be a weirdo. Like, just be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Your people will find you. Ain't no need to be trying to, no. Absolutely not. And then it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Don't you think? Like, you gotta get up. The only time you could be you is when you like in your home when nobody's there, and then when you go outside your house, you gotta perform for. No, absolutely not. No, don't do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And if somebody, like, don't even allow anyone to make you feel like you have to do that. I'm telling you, you do not have to do that. Just be yourself. If people can't like respect you for who you are, they don't want to be around you, that's okay. That's okay. You want to be around you. You should want to be around you. And surround yourself around people who like you for who you are, not what you do. They only like you when you could pick them up and take them here. They only like you when you could pay for this. They only like you when you could. No. Like me when I don't have it today. When I don't have it to give to you today. When I don't feel like going nowhere. Cause I'm entitled to not feel like I don't feel like it. I don't want to. No. But love me anyway. Love me through my no. If you only love, if the love is conditional based on whether or not I could do something for you, nah, that's not love. It's not. And I don't care how much hooping and hollering and I don't care what. That's not love. It's not. It's not. Don't even let nobody pretend and play with you like that. So stop playing with you like that. That's not love. Next question. He said, how do I stay present in my child's life when the other parent makes it so hard? Now, I know there's a lot because I got a lot of questions. Like similar to this on Father's Day. Like Sunday, it was a lot of questions. And it's sad. I said, by remembering that presence isn't always about proximity, it's about consistency. When the other parent creates barriers, it's easy to feel powerless. But you're not powerless. You're planted. And anything planted, when tended to with intention, grows. Even if it's through calls, letters, videos, prayers, they feel you. Your child is watching, even if the system or situation makes it feel impossible. Keep showing up in every way you can. Your child will remember who tried. Your love will leave fingerprints they'll one day recognize. Obstacles may delay access, but they can't erase your impact. Obstacles may delay access, but they can't erase your impact. Choose one way to show up this week. Call, text, message, voice note. Stay consistent. Stay seen. If you're in a situation where the other person is creating barriers for you and you're actively trying to be in your child's life, like you're calling you, keep the receipts. All the text messages that you send out, the emails you send out, the call history, the letters, the postage, all of that. Keep the receipts. Keep the receipts, because one day, your child may have some questions, you know. One day, you'll be able to be like, here's the box. You'll have this box and be like, oh, before you ask me any questions, let me just, here's everything here. And I believe that energy doesn't lie. I believe that people can detect when you really are intentional. I believe that energy doesn't lie and that it could be felt. Just don't give up. Just always keep trying, even if it feels like, man, because I'm telling you, it's like compounding. You know what I mean? When you go to the gym, like you're not gonna get that six pack like on just because you worked out last Tuesday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't work out on Tuesday and then on Thursday, like where my six pack at? Like, it's not gonna work. You gotta keep doing it over and over and over, over and over and over and over and over again until you start seeing results. Like, you building a business, you gonna fail. You gonna do this ain't go. You gonna have obstacles. Obstacles is the same. It's the same thing with when you want to be in someone's life or you want to have an impact in your child's life, and the other parent is creating barriers for you. Just keep going, keep trying. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing it. Like it's second nature. Send a text message, send a letter with the get the email with the red receipt. Oh, it was red. Okay. So that way you could be like, hey, you see these messages going out? Put the prayers out. Keep praying about it. Write about it. Today, I did XYZ. Today, I made a phone call. That matters. I don't care what nobody say. All that matters. Keep all the receipts. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. Okay? Okay, this is the last question. He said, why wasn't I acknowledged on Father's Day? Do they only remember me when they need something? I got a lot of those. It's so sad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Because there's a lot of y'all that really you just trying to be a good person. You want to be in your child's lives. There's a lot of people who don't care. However, there are a lot of men that were like, man, I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't get no phone call. Like, wow. But if you need something, I get all the phone calls. You blowing me up. You know what I'm saying? You blowing me up. That's not, man, I said, because people often overlook what they've learned to depend on. Your silence, your strength, your sacrifices, they've become so normal, they forget to honor them. That hurts. It feels like you're only remembered when you're needed, not when you're loved. But don't let their forgetfulness define your fatherhood. You're not a moment on a calendar. You're a legacy in motion. And one day, those who missed the chance to acknowledge you will remember who you were when it mattered most. Keep being that man. Even if they forget, you still matter. Fatherhood isn't about the praise, it's about the presence. Write a note to yourself. I'm proud of the father I've become. Read it every time you feel unseen. Sometimes, you know what, like, you got to make sure that you see you. I know a lot of you are in these situations, you carrying all this weight and you feel like nobody sees you, nobody cares. Listen, this is bare minimum, okay? You got to care. You got to see you. You got to see you. Like, I'm being for real. You have to. You have to see the greatness in you. You have to see the joy in you. You have to see the peace in you. You have to see the strength in you. You have to see everything about you. You got to care about you more than anybody ever could. Okay? More than anybody ever could. You got to see you. And then when you get in that space and you feel like, man, like, you feel like nobody cares, care harder. You feel like you feel unloved, love harder. You feel like, don't be afraid of pain either. Because pain reminds you that you're alive. Like, pain is necessary. Don't be afraid of pain. Like, and don't think that it's a bad thing if you go through pain. Everybody go through pain. And it's okay. You know, it's okay. You just got to recognize it. And it's more so the mindset that you have when you approach it. Like, how do you approach pain? Like, what do you do when the pain comes? Do you Are you going to stay in it, or like, are you going to use it to fuel your purpose? Are you going to be intentional about how you use that pain? You know, some people like go through stuff and they be like, I'm going to the gym. You know what I mean? That's useful. That's purposeful. That's intentional, you know? But I don't want you to let anyone make you feel like you can't have moments where you need emotional support. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with that at all. At all. There's nothing wrong with that. And you have to be look around and analyze the people around you, and really think about, again, how they act when you say no. That's really, really important. That's like going to be one of the main things. How do people respond to your no? And are they more focused on your presence or your pockets? That was the other takeaway today. You said your phone's dying. Well, I'm actually about to end my live. I wanted to share those questions with you so you guys could get an opportunity to just see how I operate, understand the whole purpose of Scene. It is to create a space for you. I did, if you look at my pinned messages, there was a message that I sent out, and I was telling the men, I was like, I got something just for you. And that's what it is. It's this space. I created this space for you so you could have somewhere to go to get something off your, whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your chest, and you could talk about it, you could ask about it and not feel judged, and you could get an answer that pours life into you. Not just like a fluff answer like, oh, it's okay, you got it, King. I don't do that. And I wanted to go live just so you guys could see in real time, this is how I handle you with care. I handle you with care. And you didn't hear me repeat any answers. Even though a lot of the questions were the same, I didn't repeat any answers. Because everybody, the energy is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really take a moment to feel that question, because the question comes from people are in pain, they feel broken, they feel lost, they feel unseen. They feel unseen. And they don't need a generic answer. They need an answer that speaks to that pain, that sees them, that listens to them, that understands and can articulate it back to them through love and through light. So that's what I do. So click the link in the bio. Check out the YouTube link. There's a lot of content there. I'm still building. So I post every day, and there are voice memos. So basically the title, it'll be the question that people, men, ask, and I answer them. And most of them are like in short, maybe like 30 seconds or less. But when I send you, if you request a custom voice memo from me, you have something on your heart, I will give you a frequency-filled answer, and then I'll give you actionable steps. Like, because we have to work in solutions, right? So I want to answer your question. However, we have to have movement, right? So I'm going to give you actionable steps also, because you need a transformation. Like me just saying, like, just like answering the question, but then I don't give you anything for you to like, okay, so what do I do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do that also. That's what I do. I'll answer your question. I'll tell you some actionable steps. And then from there, it's up to you. And then you could replay it whenever you want. Okay? So I appreciate you guys popping in. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the follows. If you have any questions, if you click the link in my bio and you want to send me questions, you like just regular questions that like when I go to my next live, I can answer. We could do that. If you have more like a private question and you want it more custom to you, you want me to speak to your situation directly, then you would choose the custom option and I got you. Okay? So on that note, I'm out.